again, adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. In the last episode, Kaito was surprised to learn from Sister Centipede that somebody went to the Minami-Tane Community Center, obtained and accessed the report number 1 annotation that he left in its original spot way back when. But even more surprisingly, that this individual was none other than Mizuka Ire of the general store herself. And that she even managed to eventually figure out after a few tries the password head in hand, courtesy of her acquaintance with both Misaki and Ko Kimijima. But the fact that somebody could so easily do that had spurred Kaito on to finding report number 7, and much to his surprise as well as mine, it was apparently located at the Misaki Shrine at Cape Karakura. But that wasn't the only thing that was there, because Mizuka has been following Kaito after her suspicions arose during the previous flag settings for report number 6. And she is trying to dissuade him from fulfilling Ko Kimijima's requests, stating that the reports themselves are a curse. Sadly, Mizuka, yeah, the information detailed in the reports are too real to be ignored at this point. But meanwhile, enough of all that. It's back to the old runway with none other than Junna, who is currently operating Gunbuild 2. Model 2 Chan stands on the wide runway. Very impressive, and at least we have enough space to be able to, well, continue testing. She's been walking and dancing around since this morning. Oh, at least the, yeah, those poses and that mocapping hopefully pays off. It should do, otherwise we're screwed at the expo. The sky stretches as far as the eye can see, and it's a very good thing that Junna is getting more and more comfortable with operating Gunbuild 2. Hopefully she gets somewhat better. She won't quite be as good as Kaito is at Kill Ballot, but there is definite improvement. Yeah, a wide sky and a giant robot underneath it. I'm operating her at the moment. I feel like she's having a blast, and it makes me happy too. Looks like you've made a robot disciple out of Junna there, Akiho. When we were still performing tests at the TNSC, I felt a little cramped because we were indoors. Not much leeway in there. I'm actually pretty glad we moved locations, even though we can't really rely on further maintenance from JAXA right now, in lieu of the intended rocket launch. But oh well. Yeah, though I could never say that to Akiho-chan, who feels very much differently about the situation. Although she's just as exuberant right now. Or maybe not. Akiho is nearly blown away by a gust of wind. She hurriedly holds down the hem of her skirt. It's been like this today since the morning. The wind is really strong. Well, it's probably a good thing that Kaito and probably even Subaru aren't here right now, if indeed that is the case with Subaru. The runway is completely clear, so we feel it even more. Should probably do that. Also, it's a good thing that the wind isn't strong enough to topple over Gunbuild 2, because if it was, that would be a huge issue for us. Looks like Frau is here as well, given Akiho's appellation. Yeah, Junna's prepared. Thermals are the way to go. And as for Frau, yeah, she wants to be indoors. In her abode. Subaru is here after all. Huh. Never mind then.
見てませんよ。まったくナンセンスだ。
Something tells me that Frau doesn't care one way or the other. Call it a hunch. Hidaka-kun's been facing away the whole time. I'm really grateful for how considerate he's being. Well, given the fact that his design work is what went into Gun Build 2, he has every reason to be here as much as anyone else. But it's still embarrassing. As much for Subaru as it is for, well, Akiho and Junna, because Frau is shameless. Well, at least in this instance. I may be wearing leggings, but it doesn't make it any less embarrassing when my skirt flares up. Model 2 Chan isn't wearing a skirt, so she's fine. It'd be really strange if robots actually did, well, giant robots wearing clothes. But I digress. By the way, in my mind, Model 1 Kun is a boy and Model 2 Chan is a girl. I decided that on my own. Model 1 Kun is built big and bulky with a thick frame, so he seems more like a boy. But Model 2 Chan has a more slender figure with legs that are even slimmer than mine. Yeah, then again, yeah, Subaru being as pragmatic and practical as he is, probably would have a different point of view. But again, I digress. And most importantly, she moves like me. I've come to think of her as another me, which definitely helps with the operation process there. So it would be a problem if she wasn't a girl. After making amends with Grandpa Fujita, I started seeing robots as our friends. And because of that, I'm not scared of them anymore. Should still be wary, just in case, but for safety's sake more than anything. Lately, Grandpa Fujita's been putting the old robots outside of his store on the weekends. He's finally got his mojo back. The neighborhood children come over to play all the time. Fujita will be over the moon with that. Grandpa's regained his passion for robots and has started making all sorts of weird things. He doesn't really attend to visitors, so I end up watching the kids and taking care of the robots, even controlling them myself sometimes. I'm honestly pretty happy that this is the new normal. Akiho runs off toward the hangar to change her clothes, but it's more like she's speed walking. Well, as opposed to being picked up and flown across by the wind. Indeed, we have preparations to deal with. Hidaka-kun points the laser mount toward Model 2 Junna. He's on laser duty for the day. Mostly because Yashio-kun isn't here. Yeah, about that.
それからカニ歩きそれぞれ10回1セットです
Subaru following the routine that Kaito set out. Yeah, just to make the calibration a lot easier. I nod, then input the commands into the Pokémon I'm holding. I fix my gaze firmly onto Model 2 Chan, And it's moving, far smoother than Model 1 did. This is the key to skillfully operating her, just like Yashio-kun taught me. That wind is starting to pick up though, it's a little bit worrying. I used to always look at my Pokecom every time I tried to make her move, to see the omnidirectional camera. But thanks to Yashio-kun's advice, I've gotten pretty used to controlling her. Not that I don't still make a bunch of input mistakes. Everyone does them, Junna. It's just how it is. But I'll definitely have it down completely by the time the expo rolls around. Because I have a job lined up, I might not be able to go to the expo much, but I still want to help out when I can. I'm sure Sumio would be more than happy to oblige on that front. Another strong gust of wind blows by. A cold breeze carrying the scent of the ocean. Hold on to that Pokecom tight, Junna, you definitely don't want it blowing out your hands. Yeah, it's freezing cold. It feels like my entire body is about to get blown into the sky. My hair's a total mess now. I've completely given up on trying to fix it. Yeah, definitely for the best, especially with this weather. And because I'm holding the Pokecom with both hands, I can't keep the hem of my skirt down. Thank goodness for these leggings, indeed. But it's still embarrassing. After enduring the gust of wind, I return my eyes to Model 2 Chan. The upper body is wobbling and shaking. She's not going to fall over, right? As long as you, keep things on hand. It's making me feel kind of uneasy. When I was little, I got pinned under Yoshiro-kun, a robot Grandpa Fujita built. And because of that, I spent 10 years hating robots. Not necessarily hating them, but being genuinely terrified of them is more accurate. I love Yoshiro-kun now, but despite that, every once in a while I get flashes of those memories. Whenever they come up, I find myself trembling. It's not an easy thing to get over. Just imagining Model 2 Chan falling over on me makes me go cold. She's so much bigger than Yoshiro-kun. I wouldn't just get injured, I'd die, be flattened like a pancake. But everything should be fine with Kojiro-san's auto balancer doing its thing, and the stabilizers and everything. Please don't fall over. I go back to inputting commands. Model 2 Chan's leg movement is a little awkward. The start of her motion has been a little weird since this morning. It didn't feel this way when we were at the TNSC. It's slower than usual, but only by a little bit. It isn't enough charge, but then again the laser's going, so... And it's not a command input miss on my end. It's after the walking motion starts. In the middle it feels like something is getting caught on something else. Well, that's precisely what these tests are for, to find out these kind of issues and to deal with them before we go to the expo. Otherwise we're going to have problems. Is it because of the surface of the runway? The testing ground at the Space Center had a clean, flat floor. There's a slight incline here. That could be an issue. The surface hasn't been maintained in close to 15 years, so the asphalt is all cracked and rough. Factors like this should have been taken into account, but it's too late now. That's probably what's causing this. Maybe I should report it to Hidaka-kun and Akiho-chan, just in case. That is a sensible idea, Junna. You should definitely do that. It's then that my eyes meet with Hidaka-kun's.
大徳先輩、聞いてるんですか？
great. Now she's lost her train of thought. Good job, Subaru.
もしかして私のこと呼んでた？
ええ、何度も。
I think Junna was a little too focused there. Hidaka-kun answers while looking away. I screwed up again.
ごめんね。操縦でいっぱいいっぱいで。
Should probably let him know the idea you had. Did I make him angry?
何？
テストが終わったら機体を整備するので。
Well, that's definitely a given.
試作2号機は滑走路から出して車庫まで連れてってください。
Yeah, about that.
わかった。
Oh, that's all. I was bracing myself to get lectured. Hidaka-kun's a second year, but he's always lecturing Akiho-chan.
どうぞ続けて。
I missed my chance to mention the leg problem. Dag nabbit.
つうか寒くね。どっかの男子は後ろから抱きしめて温めてくれたりすべきだろ上皇。
Frau.
だがメガネ、てめえはダメだ。まあ実際にやられたらセクハラなんで、それをネタに全力で追い込みますけどね。
何が言いたいんだ。
Looks like Subaru is developing resistance against Frau.
すごく
I'm actually impressed. You know, you could have just said that from the start.
もう少し我慢してくれ。文句があるならサボったヤシオ先輩に言うんだな。
むしろメガネ君が言うの希望ね。
は？
Don't let her in your head, Subaru. She's trying to get in your head.
山田美
Don't
先
let
輩
it happen.
生意気な態度で叱ってお仕置きタイムになだれ込むべき。もちろん敬語攻めの一択な。これやるとやらないとじゃ全然違うんで。やっぱ目が線が鉄板だろ。異論は認めない。
I raise an objection.
メガセンって何の用語だ。
Don't read into it, Subaru.
メガネヤシオ先輩の略以外に何があるというのか。鮮明がわちゃだ。一時期そっちもありがと思ったことが私にもありますが。深い意味は聞くな。
Yeah, what she said. Don't ask. That is the correct response. As always, Kojiro-san speaks an alien language. Even Hidaka-kun doesn't understand what she's saying. Definitely for the best.
大徳先輩、手が止まってます。
Yeah, that's because she's distracted, Subaru. It's not her fault.
ごめん。
I hurriedly resume inputting commands. It happened again. She's getting caught up when she moves. Hopefully Subaru's observation is noticing this problem as well. I'm just throwing that out there. I can't shake off the sense of discomfort. Should definitely speak up. But how do I put it into words? Just saying something feels off isn't enough, but it might be coming from you. I wish Yashio-kun were here. Then we could discuss things as fellow operators, because he would definitely pick up on this. Oh. Stop it, Junna. I can't just ignore this feeling. That's the whole point of these tests, to find them out and correct them before they get worse. I'll say it, I'll tell Hidaka-kun. But if I'm just imagining things, he might get mad at me. Well, it wouldn't be the case if he was actually paying attention to the robot as well. Unfortunately, Junna's timidness is still in play, even with her confidence. Hidaka-kun shoots me a glance.
ちょっと、その。
何です？
私の気のせいかもしれないんだけど。
Just say it, Junna.
回りくどい言い方はやめてください。
What he said.
報告なら簡潔にお願いします。
At least
雑
he's
談
being
ならする
civil
つもり
about
は
it.
ないので、テストに集中してください。
Then again, he won't even make eye contact with me. I'm already falling apart. Good job, Subaru. I hope Akiho-chan gets back soon. No, what am I doing? I'm relying on other people again. This is exactly why I never produced any results in karate. Find the courage, Junna, and self-confidence. You decided you were going to change when you made amends with Grandpa Fujita.
日高くん。
何ですか？
そんな嫌そうな顔しないでほしいな。日高くんが私のこと嫌いなのはしょうがないけど、ちゃんとこっち見て話してほしい。
Well, at least she said something. Subaru starts hurriedly adjusting his glasses. What's wrong?
別に嫌いというわけじゃないですよ。
Again, we're dancing around the issue at hand.
つまり好きなんですね。リア充爆発しろ。
And now it's Frau with the lightning hawk observation.
なんでそうなる？
But not inaccurate.
そうじゃなくて、女子と話すのが苦手なだけです。
Yet you talk to Akiho all the time, and you just talked to Frau just now.
特に大徳先輩は一番女子っぽいので。
女子っぽいの？
Again, ignoring the issue at hand here,
つまり
ladies and
う
gentlemen.
っつりなんですね。わかります。
And you're not helping.
うるさい
Frau.
ぞブルゴーリー。
Hidaka-kun's as irritated as always. Huh, so he doesn't hate me. Good to know. Just hearing that makes me feel a little better. I always thought of Hidaka-kun as some kind of perfect Superman. But even he has his flaws. Indeed. Trying to think of it that way, he comes off like a young boy trying to act mature, which is a fairly accurate description. In that sense, he's a little like my little brothers. I feel a sense of closeness with him. I really should have talked to him about this a long time ago. Speaking of which, you need to talk. Now. But thanks to him, I feel more comfortable talking to him now.
2号機ちゃんだけどね、歩くときにちょっと違和感が。
Finally, we reached the matter at hand.
違和感？
Hidaka-kun's expression suddenly changes. He removes the laser emplacement alignment from the parabolic antenna and prepares to listen to me. He looks me straight in the eyes.
詳しく聞かせてください。
Now you're interested.
本当にちょっとだけの些細な感じなんだけど。
Well, when it comes to robots and technology like this, tiny little feelings could grow very into very, very large problems.
もしかしたらここの地面がデコボコしてるからだけかもしれないし。
いいから本題を。違和感というのは具体的にはどんな？
足を動かすときに動作を始めた後、一瞬だけ硬直ができるっていうか。うまく説明できなくて。
Demonstrating might be a bit of a
いえ、
point.
そういうことはもっと早めに言ってください。かなり重要です。
Indeed, it is very important.
ごめんね。
モーターのギアが欠けたのか、それともつま先が引っかかってるだけか。
Unfortunately, we can't prepare for every eventuality.
原因については実際に見てみないと。
Yeah, that's a good idea. You should probably do that when it's back in storage.
あれ？
Akiho comes jogging back in her new clothes. Short sleeves on a day like this. Isn't she cold? She has a
守
jumper
備は
around her
もう
underwears.
テストは全部終わったの？止まってるけど。
Yeah, slight problem with that.
それは
It feels like I'm getting in the way of the tests, even though you discovered something crucial there, Junna. I consider apologizing to Hidaka-kun, but he speaks before I can.
部長、レーザ銃座の操作お願いできますか？
いいけど。
大徳先輩の指摘が気になります。僕が足元で見てますんで、もう一度動かしてもらっていいですか？
Hidaka-kun says before running off toward Model 2 Junna. Tanuchi-san said that while testing, we should stay at least 10 meters away from Model 2 Junna. We need to isolate this problem fast, before it gets out of hand. When we were working at the TNSC, we always made sure to follow this rule. But it's been a long time since we were back at the hangar. We were also absorbed in making our new friend, Model 2 Junna, walk. We're getting careless, and we can't afford to be careless. Not at all. There's Akiho on the lasers. Junna prepared to make Model 2 move so that Subaru can isolate, can see what the problem is. Although, him standing forward in front of its trajectory path there is probably not the smartest choice there, Subaru. You should probably be standing to the side, as in away from the front. This isn't going to end well, is it? It's all going to end in tears. God damn it. There are no adults around, just 4 high school students. Not our supervisor, Tanuji-san, not our advisor, Mr. Nagafukada, aka Michi. No Grandpa Fujita to scold us for our sloppiness. No adults at all. The only people at the airport are us kids who know nothing of how the world really works. That's why. When that happened, it might have been inevitable. Ruh-roh. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be standing in front of it, but too late. God damn it. Hidaka-kun stands at the feet of Model 2-chan, then turns and waves both arms at us. I explain the situation to Akiho. Upon Hidaka-kun's signal, I input the command. Her activation is slow again. I'm certain I input the command properly.
確かにちょっとカクンってなったね。
Yeah, there's a problem.
でしょ?
And it's gonna get worse.
電力不足かな?
I don't think so.
システムは正常だお。
And yet that intuition. Hidaka-kun uses both arms to indicate to us to make it walk again.
日高君、ちょっと離れてもらわないと危ないような。
Yeah, funny that. So I say, but instead of motioning him to do so, I just make the robot move forward. Again, ruh-roh. Hidaka-kun has a serious expression on his face as he observes Model 2-chan's legs while it moves.
なんかわかった?
Akiho's-chan's words are drowned out by a powerful gust of wind, so he likely didn't hear her. Maybe we should stop for now. Probably should have taken it back to the hangar.
また不具合? さすがにげんなりだよね。
And we can't afford to be tired of them. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be difficult getting to the expo.
やっぱりメカに詳しい人がもう一人ぐらい欲しいよ。
One more person, eh? That's totally not Kaito. Definitely not Kaito.
スバルだって学校あるし、ドクもなんだかんだで病み上がりで無理させられないし、どこかに専属のメカニックになってくれる優秀な人いないかな。
Is there anyone else out there? Indeed. Hidaka-kun continues to show no sign backing away from the robot. This time he sends me a signal to make a turn on the spot. Model 2 is already almost 50 meters away from me. I guess he wants me to make a turn and head back this way. The turn command isn't like the advanced command. It requires 4 well-timed presses of the same button for a 90-degree turn. A 180-degree turn requires doing the turn command twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. I tap away at the Pokécom screen. Model 2-chan takes small steps and slowly starts to face me. Just then, another strong gust of wind blows across the runway. It's so strong that I nearly fall over. Probably shouldn't have been testing under such conditions, if I'm being honest. I can't help but close my eyes and crouch low to the ground.
おぎゃ
Kojiro-san falls over and lands on the ground with her butt in the air. Oh dear, the timing couldn't have been worse. Her panties are totally exposed. She needs to hurry up and cover herself. That's not the issue at hand here, Junna. Not the issue at hand. But I shouldn't have been so focused on her. In that moment, I failed to do as Yashio-kun said.
どっちつかずで視線がぶれると急な事態に対処できないよ。
Funny how these things play themselves out. I had taken my eyes off of Model 2-chan. Hearing Akiho scream, I quickly turned back to Model 2-chan. All 8 meters of her body are leaning at an unnatural angle. Ruh-roh. Everything goes white. Was she hit by a gust of wind while turning? A lot of factors were involved. Or did something break? I don't know. But with the dust-colored sky as the backdrop, Model 2-chan, seemingly in slow motion, begins to topple over. And below her was... Again, for the final time, shouldn't have been standing there. But he was. Junna's worst nightmare. What happened to her all those years ago has now happened because of to someone else.
やばくね
That is an understatement. And she crashes down. It's the same as before. Akiho-chan dashes towards Model 2-chan after she collapses.
救急車を
That's a good idea, Frau. That's absolutely sensible. Despite her confusion, Kojiro-san is trying to call for help on her pokercom. But me? I can't move. The trauma of that incident playing out again. Where's Hidaka-kun? What happened to him? I can't see him. I don't see him anywhere. All I see on the runway is the collapsed Model 2-chan. There's no sign of Hidaka-kun anywhere.
そん
Oh dear.
な私が
Please be safe. Please be okay. I don't care if you have to take my life instead. And as I pray to the powers that be, I'm terrified. I'm utterly terrified. I can't move. My body sinks to the ground, paralyzed by fear and dread. All I can do is wrap my arms around myself as I trembled so hard it feels like I'm having a seizure. Too little too late now. And speaking of bad timing, yeah, at the same time, Kaito is dealing with Mizuka Ire, who is intending to block his path. But that will be until next time, so when we return, adventurers, we shall see what Kaito Yasuo decides. As always, until next we meet.